over a continuous sample space. So we have here an example. So for discrete random variable, so we have the number of correct answers in a multiple choice question test, and number of cars passing a toll both in the day, number of balls required to take the first we get. And for the continuous random variable, so we have the weight of a person and the monthly profit. So we have some examples later on. Okay. And also, since we have a discrete random variable, we also have discrete probability distribution. And for the continuous random variables, we have also the continuous probability distribution. Okay, so for the discrete probability distribution, so it is a probability distribution of a discrete random variable, whereas the continuous probability distribution is a probability distribution of a continuous random variable. Okay, so we have here an example, discrete probability distributions. So, tossing a coin two times. So, kadua na to i-toss ang coin. So, we have here our random variable is equal to the number of heads appeared. So, pila man kabok ang heads nga mo appear class in toss the coin twice. So let's now write our sample space. So we have duha ka heads. So in tossing a coin, so we can probably have two heads, one head and one tail, and one tail and one head, and the two tails. So our random variable x. So we have 0, 1, and 2. Kay since duha raman ato ang outcome, di ba, in tossing a coin twice. So, when our x is equal to 0, so which means that walay heads nga ni-appear. So, pila man diri class ang walay heads nga ni-appear. So, kini nay heads, di ba? Nay heads. Kini nay heads. And the last one, so walay heads kay both man sila kay tails. So, we can say that the probability of x is equal to 1/4. Okay? Then when our x equal to 1, so which means that pila ka buok dira ang ni-appear nga isa ka buok ang head. So kini kay duha man, di ba? The next one isa ka head, and the third one isa pod ka head. So which means 2/4 kay upat man ka buok atong outcomes. So 2/4 is just equal to 1/2. So which means that the probability of when our x equal to 1 is equal to 1/2. And the last one, when our x is equal to 2, so which means duha ka heads ang ni-appear. So, haman diri class, so, tining unang outcome, di ba? So, we have 1/4. So, may siyang the probability of x when it is equal to 2 is equal to 1/4. And when you are going to add kini 1/4 plus 1/2 plus 1/4, so that is equal to 1. Okay, so there are different types of probability distributions. We have, as what I've mentioned earlier, so we have the discrete probability distribution and the continuous probability distribution. So for the discrete probability distribution, so we have the Bernoulli distribution, the binomial distribution, the Poisson distribution, and some more. So we also have the geometric distribution. And for the continuous probability distribution, so we have the uniform distribution, the normal distribution, the exponential distribution, the t-distribution, and many more, etc. Okay, so let's now proceed to the probability mass function and the probability density function. Okay, class. So we're going to use the probability mass function for the discrete random variable x. So it is denoted by P of x. So para ni ang PMF class is for the discrete random variable or the discrete probability distribution. And the probability density function is for the continuous random variable x. Okay? So, mano siya ang kalainan. So, PMF atong gamiton sa discrete random variable and the PDF for the continuous random variable. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, for the discrete random variable x with the probability mass function. So the mathematical expectation of x is equal to this one. Okay, or the expected value of x is equal to the summation of x p of x. And for the continuous random variable x, with the probability density function f of x, then we can get the expected value of x, or simply the mean. So mean man na siya class, or the expected value is equal to the integral. So in here, you can apply unsa imong knowledge sa calculus. Kay mag-integrate mo ta diri for the probability uh, density function. So the integral of x, f of x. Okay? Okay. So this is for the, and also since so that is for the expected value of x, or the mean, and this is for the expected value of x squared. Okay, magamit man nato ni siya class in solving for the variance. Okay, so the summation, so ma x squared nato siya kaganina, the expected value of x is just equal to the summation of x, p of x, but kini x squared naman is the summation of x squared p of x. So this is for the discrete random variable, and for the continuous we have the summation of x squared f of x. Okay, x squared naman dili. Kung x lang, so x na po na siya dili. X f of x. Okay, so in solving for the variance, so you already know that the variance is just equal to the sigma squared. So this is the formula. So the expected value of x minus the expected value of x. So raised to the squared. Or this is equal to the expected value of x squared minus the expected value of x raised to the squared. Okay? So this is equal to the expected value of x squared minus, so kini siya class, di ba? Ang expected value of x is equal to the mu. So this is just equal to mu squared. Okay. So kini ang formula sa, you can use this one or this one. The expected value of x squared minus mu squared. Okay, then of course for the standard deviation, that is just the square root of the variance. So we have some properties. Di ba na, naka-remember ko na for your pretest, so na ito gipa-solve ang na-apply diri sa mga properties katong in getting what is the expected value of 2x, y masiguro to and the variance of x minus y. Okay, so let's see is a constant number, and x and y are two independent random variables. So these are some properties. So expected value of a constant is simply the constant. And the expected value of a constant times x, where x is a independent random variable. So this is just equal to, so ipagawas nimo ang constant times the expected value of x. Now the expected value of the product of a random variable and a constant is simply the expected value of x plus the constant. The expected value two independent random variables, so pwede rin mo siya mabulag class. So expected value of x plus expected value of y, and the expected value, so the expected value of the difference of two independent random variables. So pwede po nimo siya mabulag. Expected value of x minus expected value of y, and the product of two independent random variables is simply the expected value of x times the expected value of y. So muna siya ang properties of the expected value for the mean. So this is for the mean, and for the variance, so we have this one. So the variance of a constant is equal to 0. The variance of a constant times a random variable is equal to, so kini class is equal to the constant squared times the variance of x. And then the variance of the product of a random variable and a constant is simply the variance of x. And the sum and difference of the variance of two independent random variables is parehara sila class. So plus na gyapon sila duha. It's either ma plus or ma minus. So variance of x plus the variance of y. Okay? So we have here an example. So a company estimates the net profit on a new product. So it is launching to be 3 million during the first year if it is successful, and 1 million if it is moderately successful, and a loss of 1 million if it is unsuccessful. explain. So the company assigns the following probabilities to first year prospects for the product. So this is mo na ilang mga probabilities class given. So kung 3 class, 3 if it is successful, so the probability is 0.25, and then 1 million if it is moderately successful, so which means a probability and is 0.40, and lastly if it is a loss of 1 million, so meaning loss one, so negative 1, and successful, so the probability of that is 0.35 or 35%. So we are asked to find the expected value and the standard deviation of the first year net profit for the product. So also we're going to find the expected value of the net profit if there is a fixed cost of 0.2 million, whatever the success status is. So first, we're going to find the expected value or simply the mean given the following. So we're going to set up a table. Makita na to. So we have this one. So we're going to let x is equal to the net profit on the new product on the first year. So given that, so katong kaganina, 3 million if it is successful, so the probability is 0.25, and 1 million if it is moderately successful, so the probability is 0.4, and lastly, if it is a loss of negative 1 million, so the probability is 0.35. So we are asked to find the expected net profit. So we're going to use the probability mass function formula. So this is equal to the summation of x times the probability of x, which is equal to, so we're just going to multiply since this is a discrete random variable. So 3 times yung probability ng 0.25 plus 1 times 0.4 plus negative 1 times 0.35. Then using your calculator, so we get 0.8 million. So this is the expected net profit. So we are also asked to find the standard deviation. So first, we're going to solve the expected value of x squared. Okay, magamit man natin siya in finding the variance. So kailangan maagis natin sa variance para madali natin. The square root of the variance is just the standard deviation. Ato gusto siya halian. So the expected value of x squared. So this is just equal to the summation of x squared times the probability of x. So imo tong ipang squared ang imong mga x nga values nga 3, 1 of negative 1. So you have 3 squared times the probability, which is 0.25 plus, so 1 squared times 0.4 plus negative 1 squared times 0.35. So calculating, so we get 3. So the expected value of x squared is equal to 3. So we are going to find the variance of x. So the variance of x is equal to the expected value of x squared minus the expected value of x raised to squared. So this is equal to, so ato rin i-substitute class, kinakakuha naman the values itong x, expected value of x squared. So we have 3, then ato pong nakuha ganina is the expected value of x is 0.8. So 0.8 squared 0.8 squared is equal. So this is equal to 3 minus 0.8 squared is equal to 2.36. So for a while sa basa, pinas ko pormahan. Okay, so which means that the variance of x is equal to 2.36, and so the standard deviation is just equal to the square root of 2.36, which is equal to 1.54 million. And we are also asked to find expected value of net profit if there is a fixed cost of 0.2 million. Okay. So this is now the answer. So if there is a fixed cost of 2.2 million, then expected net profit is the expected value of x minus 0.2. So this is equal to The expected value of x minus 0.2, so 0.8 minus 0.2, so this is equal to 0.6 million. So the expected net profit, if there is a fixed cost of 0.2 million, is equal to 0.6 million. Okay, so let's now proceed to this one. So we have the binomial distribution. So let's now first tackle the Bernoulli trial. So it is, of course, it has only two possible outcomes. So it is often called as the success and the failure. So the probability that it is a success, so we have P, and for the failure, so we have a 1 minus P, or it is simply also the Q. So you can equate 1 minus P is equal to Q. So let N be an independent Bernoulli trials are performed, and each trial has the same probability of success. So denoted by P. So let X be the number of trials in N trials, and then we're going to let X is a binomial random variable with distribution function, or the PMF of this one. So P of X equal to the combination of N taken X, P to the X, 1 minus P raised to N minus X. So you can use your calculator. Pagamitan naman tamo calculator class. And be sure to have your scientific calculator. So still, you cannot use your cell phone as your calculator. So dapat na mo calculator in class. Okay? So this is equal to n factorial divided by n minus x factorial times x factorial p to the x, 1 minus p raised to the n minus x. Okay? So here, kabalo naman mo nga n factorial. So kagamit naman mo calculator. Okay, so we can write as x is binomially distributed with n and p. Okay, so for the mean of the binomial distribution, so we have the mean is equal to NP and the variance is the NPQ. Okay, katong di-mention ako earlier nga ang we can denote 1 minus P is equal to Q. Okay, and for the standard deviation, so dapat na-memorize ninyo ni class for okay, sa una kay ako man yung kung katong nag-spell up ako kaya ako mag-memorize sa mga mean, variance sa mga discrete and continuous distribution. Okay, hindi naman din ang dili niyo malimutan ang ilang mga mean and variance. Okay, sa'yo naman din ang standard deviation, that is just the square root of the variance. So we have square root of NP. Okay, so we have here an example. Okay, so there are three multiple choice questions in a multiple choice question test. Okay, so each multiple choice question consists of 4 possible choices and only one of them is correct. So if an examinee answers those MCQ randomly without knowing the correct answers, so we are going to find what is the probability that exactly any two of the answers will be correct. What is the probability that at least two of the answers will be correct? What is the probability that at most two of the answers will be correct? And what will be the average or the expected number of correct answers? And lastly, find the standard deviation of number of correct answers. Okay. So dapat ma-determine nato in here. So i-determine sa nato na unsa ang mga given. Okay? So let X be the number of correct answers selected in 3 multiple choice question. Okay. So here, so the probability of selecting a correct answer per question is 1/4. Isa naman ang correct out of the 4 choices. So that's why we have 1/4, or just this is just equal to 0.25. So we can say that our random variable x is binomially distributed with n is equal to 2, and the probability of success is equal to 0.25. Okay? So ato rin i-substitute sa ato ang probability mass function. So, mana siya sa ato nang ipang plug in ang mga values. Okay? Muna siya. So, nag-wonder mo class, yn is equal to 2. Okay? Exactly any two of the answers will be correct man. So, manang n, our n is equal to 2. Okay? And our x is equal to 3. Kay tulo man kabuok ang multiple choice questions. Okay. So, na so ato nang nabutang na determine na to nga our x is equal to 3 kay since tulo kabuk ang multiple choice questions and our n is equal to 2 for letter kini lang siya nga question. Okay? Exactly any two of the answers will be correct and the probability of success is equal to 0.25. Okay? So, mao ni siya. So, our x is equal to 2 since the first question is we're going to find the probability that exactly any two of the answers will be correct. So, x is equal to 2. So, 3 factorial divided by 3 minus 2 factorial. 2 factorial times 0.25 raised to 2 and 0.75. So, na 0.75 ni siya class kay 1 minus 0.25 is equal to 0.75. So, raised to the power of 3 minus 2. So, calculating, so the answer is 0.141 or it is equivalent to 14.1%. Okay, so take note class ang probability, nag-range na siya from 0 to 1 ha. So, dili na siya mulapas o 1. 0 to 1 na siya. Okay? Then the next question, we are going to find the probability that at least two of the answers will be correct. So which means that our x is greater than or equal to 2. Di ba? Kung at least, so this is the symbol, greater than or equal to 2. And for the at most na siya class is less than or equal to 2. Okay? So this is simply probability of x is equal to 2 plus probability of x is equal to 3. Okay? So, nganong naman taman ni class kay our n is equal to 3 naman. So wala na mo probability of plus probability of x is equal to 4. Okay, 3 naman tama ang atong n. Kaya dili na mo dapat mo lakas. And since na naman tayo nakuha nga value diri, so pwede rin ninyo siya i-substitute directly. The probability of x is equal to 2 is equal to 0.141. And kini na lang dahil yung i-solve. Okay? That ay 0.141 plus 0.016. So this is equal to 0.157. So the probability that at least two of the answers will be correct is 15.7%. Okay? Then letter C, so we are also asked to find the probability that at most, di ba ingon na ako kaganina, ang at most 2 is just equal to x is less than or equal to 2. Okay. So apil ang 0. So 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So na naman so kini kabalo naman mo sa answer ng probability of x equal to 2. So we have 0.141. So, probability of x ay 3 man ito po yun. So, inyo rin siyang i-solve ang what is the probability that your x is equal to 0 and the probability that your x is equal to 1. So, in here, so itong nakuha, the probability of x is equal to 1 is 0.422 and the probability of x is equal to 1 is also 0.422. So, this is equal to 0.985. Okay, so which means that the probability that at most two of the answers will be correct is 98.5%. And we are also asked to find the mean or the expected value. So the formula for the mean is NP. Sorry. So NP, so 3 times 0.5 is 0.25 is equal to 0.75. And lastly, for the standard deviation, so this is just the square root of NPQ. So na tayo values anitaan. Okay, ato naman na-determine nga our n is equal to 3, our p is 0.25 since 1 over 4. Take if upat mo pabok ang choices. Then, so the probability of getting it correctly is 1/4.25 and the probability of failure is 0.75. So, it is equal to 0.75. Okay? So we have this one. So ato na rin ibutang diri sa kinakakuha naman tag values sa ato ang mga when our x equal to 0, 1, 2, and 3. So mao ni siya ang atong mga probability. Okay, so pwede na mo dili butang og ana class. So kato lang answer sa mga question. Kini kay gipakita lang here kung unsa ang probability given each corresponding values of x. Okay? So the probability of x equal to 0 is 0.422. Same siya when our x is equal to 1 and the probability of getting two answers correctly kay mga answers man getting two exactly two answers correct. That's a 4.141 and getting exactly three answers correctly is 0.016. Okay? The zero sa mo ni siya ang graph. Kaya discrete man siya kung continuous o kung may ana. Okay? So sayo naman ni siya. Okay, so next, so we are done with the binomial distribution. So next we have the Poisson distribution. So let x be a random variable usually counts or the number of occurrences. So then, so dapat familiar mo class unsa ang PMF sa kada distribution pod. Okay, for the Poisson random variable distribution function, so this is the PMF of the Poisson distribution. E to the negative lambda, lambda to the x over x factorial, where your x is equal to 0, 1, 2, and so on. So this is written as x is Poisson distributed with the variable lambda. Okay? So for the mean, so sayo na kaya ang Poisson class, kaya yung mean is just equal to the variance. Okay? So ang mean sa Poisson is lambda, the variance of the Poisson is lambda, and the standard deviation is just the square root of the lambda. Okay? So we have here an example. So the average number of errors on a page of a certain magazine is 0.2. Which means that ang number of errors is pinina 0.2. So we are asked to find the probability that the next page or a randomly selected page you read contains zero error, two or more errors. So we are asked also to find the average error per page. And lastly, what is the standard deviation of the number of errors? Okay, so let x be is equal to the number of errors in a page. Okay, then here, so the lambda is just equal to the average number of errors per page. So given man sa problem that the average number of errors is 0.2. So it is our random variable x is Poisson distributed with the mean is equal to 0.2. Okay. So ibutang nato ang iyang PMF, the probability mass function. So e to the negative lambda lambda to the x over x factorial. So I substitute sa our lambda is 0.2, so 0.2 to the x over x factorial. Okay, the first question, we are going to find the probability that the next page is zero error, contains zero error. Okay, so our x is equal to 0 kay 0 error man to ang question. E to the negative 0.2 to the x over x factorial. So I substitute na nato ang value sa x, which is equal to 0. So calculating, so we get 0.8187. Okay, so the next one, the next question, we are asked two or more errors. So that is simply, diba, two or kan pa nga error. So which means our x is greater than or equal to 2. So and greater than or equal to 2 class is just the probability of x is greater than or equal to is simply 1 minus the probability of x is less than to 2. Okay? So this is just equal to 1 minus. So unsa man ang mga number class na less than sa 2? So we have 0 and 1. So that's why this is equal to probability of x is equal to 0 plus probability of x is equal to 1. May mga mga numbers na less than sa 2. So 1 minus, so kini ato din i-calculate. So the answer for this one is ana namatay. Ang answer ani na part is 0.8187. So kini na lang din atong isa i-solve when the probability of x equal to 1. So ilisa na ninimo. So kini from here, so 0.2 to the 1 divided by 1 factorial. Okay? So this is equal to so the answer is 0.0176. So pwede rin yung class para ma-uniform inyo ang decimal places. So i-round off rin ninyo into 4 decimal places. Okay? So sa inyong pretest, kung wala mo ko nag-instruct pila ka decimal places. So ako na siyang gitanaw, isakto ba inyo ang pag-calculate. So the answer is this one, or 1.76%. So the next one is the average number of errors. So gihatag naman sa problem, di ba? So that is just equal to the lambda. So we have 0.2. Okay? The statement that the average number of errors is 0.2, and for the standard deviation, so that is just the square root of the lambda. Di ba sa yun, no, kay ang puso ni class kay iamagog mean and the variance is equal ra, which is the lambda. Okay? So you don't need, whereas sa binomial, di ba, squared NPQ, ana-ana. So pa siya, mag-solve pa mo sa the expected value of x squared. Di ba? So in here, dili naman mag-solve sa expected value of x squared kay same naman lang ang lambda. So the variance is just equal to the lambda. So wala namang i-solve. Okay? So for the standard deviation, so square root plus sa lambda, square root of 0.2. So that is equal to 0.45. Okay? And this is the graph. So you didn't need to graph laman. So ako naman i-show na expected when our x is equal to 0, so the probability is 0.82. When our x is equal to 1, so kaganina, the probability is 0.16. Okay? 0.02. So kini siya. So as you notice class, as your x increases, the probability will approach to a 0. Okay. So this happen when the average or the mean of the boson is equal to 0.2. Okay. So let's now proceed to the continuous random variable. Okay. So let's have the uniform distribution. Okay? So this is mo ni siya ang PDF. So kaganina class, di ba lahi ang PMF ha? Ang PMF is for the discrete random variable, whereas the PDF is for the uniformly distributed random variable. Continuous or the continuous random variable. So we have x has a PDF of this one. So kini class, the f of x is equal to 1 over b minus a, where your x class is in between a to b. Okay, x is less than or equal to less than b lang siya and greater than a. So we are going to write that x is uniformly distributed with this with mean a and the variance of b. So we have this one. So the mean of the uniform distribution is a plus b divided by 2. Okay? And for the variance of the uniform distribution, so we have b minus a squared divided by 12. Okay, so you didn't need to solve this one. So para kaganina, so given mandaan each distribution class, so gihatagdaan ang ilang mga mean and variance. Okay, so ano na siya. So a plus b divided by 2, and for the variance, we have b minus a squared divided by 12. Okay, so we have here an example using the uniform distribution. Okay, so the waiting time in minutes for train is uniform with this one. So we have the mean and the variance. So we are going to find the uniform. So sorry class. So muna siyang A, muna siya ang B. Diba? Okay. So X is uniformly distributed with A and B. So kini mo ang value sa imong A and this is the value for your B. Para makuha na to ang mean and the variance. So first we're going to find the probability that you have to wait at least. So unsa man ang notation for at least 20 minutes. So that is greater than or equal to 20 and we are going to solve the average waiting time. So it is simply the mean and the standard deviation. So this is just the square root of the variance. So isolve sa nato ang variance. Okay? So we have the x is equal to waiting time in minutes. So x is uniformly distributed with our a is equal to 10 and our b is equal to 50. So 1 minus, so using the PDF probability density function, so this is equal to 1 over b minus a. So that is equal to 1 over, so substitute na to. So our b here is equal to 50 and our a here is 10. Where your x is less than 50 but greater than 10. Okay, so calculating, so we have 1 over 40. So dili naman na siya ma-reduce. So mo na siya ang value. So f of x is equal to 1 over 40. Okay. So nakuha na nato iya ang probability density function class nga 1 over 40. Okay. So next, so ang first question is we are going to find the probability that you have to wait for at least 20 minutes. Okay, so the notation for that one is the probability of x is greater than or equal to 20. Okay, so since this is a continuous random variable, di ba kaganina kay kung ano naman no, x, x, p of x. So in here class, probability density function is mag-integrate na ta. Okay? So the summation ay the integral of f of x dx range from 20 to 50. So 20 to 50 na siya class. Ay, sorry. Kay at least 20 minutes man. So this is your lower bound. So we have 20 and 50. 20 to 50. Okay, matingala mo class nga. Kaganin na kay 10 to 50 man ang given. But in here, the question is, kuan man, at least 20 minutes. So mailisa nag 20 to 50 na siya. So the integral of 1 over 40. So mao na siyang gamiton class kay mao naman din siya ang atong nakuha nga value sa atong f of x. Okay? Sa itong f of x class, kay dili na kini itong gamiton. Kay nakipagahan matag value nga ato a is equal to 10 and our b is equal to 50. So kini na. So 1 over 40. Okay? So the integral of a constant is 1. So we have 1 over 40, the integral of 1 dx, so from 20 to 50. Okay? So gipagawa sa ito, so the integral, so x, okay? So the integral of 1 dx is equal to x. So 1 over 40 x, so from 20 to 50. So may lista din siya, di ba? 50 minus 20. Okay. So 1 over 40 times 50 minus 20 is 30. So that is equal to 30 over 40. Okay? Then, i-reduce naman na siya into lowest form. So we have 3 over 4. Okay. So that is equal to 0.75. Okay? So hence, we can say that the probability that you have to wait for at least 20 minutes is 75%. 70. And the next one, so mao na siya class nga naamoy calculus na subject. Kay magamit man ninyo na diri sa probability density function. Okay? And the next one, so we're going to find the mean of the waiting time. So the formula is a plus b divided by 2. So a is equal to 10, di ba? Given ganina tira eh. 8 is equal to 10 and b is equal to 50. So I work is substitute. So which means that the average waiting time in minutes is 30 minutes. And lastly, for the standard deviation, so this is just the square root of the variance. So the square root of ang variance is equal to b minus a squared divided by 2. Getting the square root, and then yung substitute ang value sa b and sa a. So 50 minus 10 is equal to 40 squared divided by 12. Taking the square root, so you get 3.65 minutes. Okay? So don't worry class kung maghatag mga kung seat works or activities, subutangan man na ako man yung specify unsa inyong gamiton nga distribution. Sa inyong binomial ba, Poisson, or uniform, or normal distribution. Okay, so that is for the uniform distribution. Okay, so next we have the exponential distribution. So it is also continuous probability distribution. So exponential distribution is a type of continuous probability distribution. So a continuous random variable x is said to follow exponential distribution if its PDF is given by this one. So f of x is equal to lambda e to the negative lambda times x. So take note class that for the exponential distribution, so your x is greater than 0 and also your lambda is greater than 0. So this is the graph. Okay. So we're going to write as x is exponentially distributed with lambda. Okay. So here, x is usually time until certain event occurs. Okay, so this usually time. So given this one, so we have the mean of x is equal to 1 over lambda. And for the variance, so the variance is just equal to 1 over lambda squared. Okay. And for the standard deviation, of course, it's just the square root of 1 over lambda squared, or 1 over lambda. Okay, so we have here an example. So the average time required to repair a machine is 0.5 hours. Okay, so what is the probability that the next repair will take more than 2 hours? Okay, so let x is equal to the time required to repair. So x is exponentially distributed with lambda is equal to, so given that 1, so we are asked to find the repair will take more than 2 hours. So our lambda is equal to 2. So since the expected value of x is equal to 1 over lambda, then that is equal to 0.5. Okay? So gihatag mo po diri the average time, so that is 0.5, and the lambda is equal to, so solving for lambda, so we have that is equal to 1 over 0.5. Okay, that is equal to 2. Okay, inyo naman ang i-cross multiply, diba?
Well, right now we just call the
So we have
team
0.5
Philippine
lambda
Men's
is
National
equal to
Team.
1. So divide both sides by 0.5, so mauna siya 1 over 0.5. So this is just equal to 2. Okay? So it stated here that the next repair will take more than 2 hours, which means that we are asked to find the probability of x more than man, so greater than 2. Okay, so more than, greater ang symbol, for less than is of course, less than. Then, dapat makabalo po mo sa at least o at most. Okay, more man ang common diri class. Or ang pinakasayon is state yun will take 2 hours. So, diretso na siya nga x equal to 2. Okay? So, the probability of x, so you can use it's either P of PR or simply P. Okay? Probability of x is greater than or more than 2 hours. Okay? Pareho naman ng more than or greater than 2 hours. So, that is equal to from 2 to infinity. Okay? So, ang kuan na class for the exponential distribution, so that is range kung saan question to infinity. Okay? So, in here class, familiar naman siguro mo ano, nakasolve na mo sa inyong calculus class. So, dili lang kayo kung mag-strict ha kay dili mo ta calculus class. So, pwede na mo mag-answer, mabutang sa iyang integral diretsyo. Okay? So, ingani kay let u is equal to, this is constant mga lambda, di ba? So, u ay let u din mag-dv na du. Okay? So, let u is equal to negative lambda. So, du is equal to negative lambda d. Okay? So, then in solving that one, so that is equal to negative e to the negative lambda of x. So, so the integral is from 2 to infinity. Okay? So, calculating, so e to the negative e uh, to the negative lambda of x to the infinity. Substitute mo ang x of infinity, so that is equal to negative 0. Then plus e to the negative 2 to the negative 2 times lambda. So, inyo na siya i-substitute ang 2 sa x. Dire kung infinity siya, that is equal to 0. Okay? Dayon, kung 2, when our x is equal to 2 is substitute, so this is e to the 2 lambda. So, this is just equal to e to the negative 2 lambda. So, that is equal to, so calculating, so we have, so the probability of x greater than 2 is equal to 0.0183, so that is equal to 1.83%. Okay? So, tingala mo diri class, gikan here e to the negative 2 lambda, then iyong i-substitute nga ang lambda nga equal to 2. So, mo na siya ang gamit class. Ano mo tinapot nga lambda is equal to 2. Okay? So, mo na siya. So, the probability is equal to 1.83%. Okay? So, let x, so we have, mama siguro ni siya ang last. Okay, so kapit na tamahuman ni class. And I will not give you activity today. So mag-base lang po. So you have 10 points for your attendance today. So next week ay face-to-face naman tanong. Okay? So maghatag ko mga, so kabalo na mo kay ako naman gi-discuss. Kabalo na mo answer. Kung ako nung ibalik o question ang akong mga ipang-answer ninyo. Akong gi-pre-test. Okay? So akong i-compare if naabay difference inyo ang na-answer. So dili na gid to pre-test sa quiz na gid ako ihatag ini face to face. So about this akong gipang discuss today. Okay? Bitaw ang sum ato kay mabalik then magbuhat po kog others so na po other nga about yun sa ako ang kanang na-discuss. Okay? So nara ko i-add ato. So dili gyud exactly the same. So nara ko wala dili i-appeal ato samot na sa true or false. So dili na ko mag true or false class ha. So next meeting, so about purely about ano sa akong i-discuss today. Okay? So lastly, so we have the normal distribution. Okay? So familiar naman siguro mo nga ang PDF sa normal distribution is this one. Okay? So 1 over sigma squared of 2 pi e to the negative 1 over 2 sigma squared times x minus mu squared. Where your x range to negative infinity to positive infinity. So we can write as x is normally distributed with mean and the variance. With mean mu and the variance sigma squared. Okay? So for the normal distributions, you have the mean, mu, and of course the variance is the sigma squared. Okay? So let x, so for the standard normal distribution, diba familiar naman sabi mo nga this is the formula z is equal to x minus mu over the sigma. So then the mean is, of course, if it is standard normal, so the mean is 0 and the variance is 1. Okay? Then it's a PDF. Then Z has a PDF of this one. So 1 over square root of 2 pi e to the negative 1 half z squared. Where your z is pareha lagi po negative infinity to positive infinity. So we can write as z is standard distributed as standard normal distribution with mean 0 and the variance of 1. Okay, then for the z table, so normal for the standard normal distribution. So usually, normal table gives us this one. So 0 to z for positive values of z. So dito lang mo magtanaw class sa, di ba, for the standard table na may siya negative part na siya positive. So dito lang mo magtanaw sa mga positive values of z. Okay? And so for other values, so we can use the property of symmetry. Symmetry naman to siya ang other values with median zero of standard normal distribution. So to find probabilities for our normal random variable x, so we can transform the probability statement about x in terms of probability statement for z and then calculate the probability using the standard normal distribution table or simply the z table. Okay, so we have this one. So b, the probability of x less than a is just equal to this one. Okay, probability of z less than a minus mu over the sigma. Okay, so we have this one. Okay, so we are asked to find the probability of following using the z table or simply the standard normal table. Okay, so the number of viewers of TV show per week has a mean of 29 million with a standard deviation of 5 million. So we are assumed that the number of viewers of that show follows a normal distribution. So what is the probability that the next week's show will have probably have between 30 and 35 million viewers, have at least 23 million viewers, and lastly exceed 40 million viewers? Okay. So how are you going to answer the following? So this is now the solution. So let x be the number of viewers of the show per week. So that is in millions. So x is normally distributed with mean and mu and the variance of sigma squared. So gibutang man din, di ba? Nga ang mean na to is 29 and the standard deviation is 5. So our variance is 25. So 5 squared is 25. Okay, so the first question is what is the next show will have between 30 and 34. So yung ano ni Chora. So 30 minus mu, so x minus mu divided by sigma is in between 30 minus mu over sigma. So our x here sa left side is 30. So 30 minus mu over sigma or the standard deviation, and there is the right side is 34 man ang atong x. So 34 minus mu over sigma. So the probability, so 30 minus 29, kay 29 man ang ato ang mean, given nga 29 over, so our standard deviation is 5. So i-substitute. So kini lang sa tunga ang dili listen class kay this is just equal to the z man. Okay? So mano siya ang z na to kaganina taray. Okay? So z is equal to x minus mu divided by the standard deviation or the sigma. Okay. So Calculating, so 30 minus 29 divide 5 is 0.20. And for your right side, so we have 34 minus 29 over 5. So that is equal to 1. So 34 minus 29 is 5 divided by 5 is 1. So which means that the probability of your z is between 0 to 1. Okay? So less than or equal to 0, yan ang plus ha. Asa man to? Okay, the probability of z is equal to 0 is 0.5. So that is 0.5. So less than man siya, 0.5 minus 0.5 is 0. So mo siya probability of, so this is just equal to this one, probability of z is in between the 0 to 1 minus the probability of z is between 0 to 0.2. Okay. So ang 0 to 1, so 1. Okay. So kini class nganong, so kini sa inyong tanawon class. Kini pagitaw na to ang probability ng 0 to 1. So ang 1 atong tanawon. So 1.8413. So minus 0.5 ni siya. Okay? So 0.8413 minus 0.5 is, so 4 decimal places lang ha. 0.3, so 8 minus 5 is 3. So muna siyang na 0.34, di rin ako ma-highlight, sorry. 0.3413. Like in class, the probability that z is from 0 to 0.5, 0 to 0.2. So mo ni atong 0.2, di ba? Okay. So minusan ni mo na siya 0.5. So 0.579 minus 0.5, of course, it is equal to 0.079. Okay? Mo ni siya class, 0.0793. So ground off niya, ay 4 decimal places man, so we have 0.0793. So calculating, so we have 0.262. So which means that the probability that the next show will have between 30 and 34 viewers is 0.26. Okay? Then the probability that the next show will have at least, so kung at least man, di ba, is greater than or equal to 23 million. So ito ang formula. So z, ito naman ang equate into z. So z is equal to x minus mu divided by the standard deviation is greater than or equal to 23 minus mu divided by the standard deviation. So the rate 23 minus, given ang mean nga 29 and also the standard deviation is 5. So given na siya sa problem ha. So kanina balikan ako na ito nga 29 ang mean and standard deviation is 5. Okay? So mao ni siya. So z man ni siya, so the probability of z, so ato nang na-equate into z. Z is greater than or equal to 1 minus okay, negative 1.2. So the probability, so we have z is in between to negative 1.2 to 0, and the probability of z is greater than or equal to 0. So kini, so 1.2, so 1.2. So mo ni siya class. So this is, so kini ang, di ba, dimension ka gina sa properties nga mutan-aw ta sa positive values. Okay? So ang 1.2 from 0, negative 1.2 to 0, so we have 0.8849 minus 0.5, so we have 0.38. Mo ni siya class nga 0.3849. And kini kay 0 raman, z is greater than or equal to 0. So mutan-aw ta sa z is equal to 0. Mo ni siya nahimong plus 0.5. Okay? So that is equal to 0.8849. Okay? And the last one, we are asked, mo na siya ang letter C, no? Exceed to 40 million viewers. Okay. So, mo na siya ang last topic for today. So we have the probability that the next shows will exceed 40 million viewers, which means that our x is greater than 40. Okay? So naman guro ni sa inyong kuan class, no? Descriptive and differential statistics. Katong finding the area under the normal curve. So mo ni siya 40 minus mu. So pwede po niyo diretso ra ni class probability of x minus mu divided by sigma is greater than 40 minus 29 divided by 5. Okay? So z is equal to 2.2. Okay? So greater than, so probability of z is greater than or equal to 0 minus probability of is in between 0 to 2.2. Okay? So ang probability of x is greater than or equal to 0 is 0.5. And the probability of z between 0 to 2.2. Let's see. 2.2 is kini. Minus 0.5 is 0.4. Mano siya? No, 4861. Mano siya class ang 0.4861. Okay, kini minus sa 0.5. Okay? So this is equal to 0.0139. Okay? And so that's all for today. So ako nang ibutang sa atong GC akong slides class ha. So mag-on na mo about ato. And any questions? So dili sa kumatag og activity ninyo kay para maka-study mo about sa akong discuss today. Okay, any questions? So please bring your calculator ha, in face to face. Okay. So dapat ma-memorize niyo class ha. Dapat i-memorize on ang atong PDF sa discrete probability distribution, atong mga Bernoulli, Poisson. So dapat inyong ma-memorize ang ilaang probability mass function, the mean and the variance. Then for the continuous probability distribution, so dapat inyo pong memorize ang probability density function and the mean and the variance. So gikan ato ma-solve na tayo ninyo. Okay? So dili lang ko i-appeal ang katong sa normal class ha, kay para dili na mo magdaldala og standard normal table. Okay? So walay labot ang pag-solve using the standard normal table. So please turn on your camera for your closing attendance. Okay, kay 18 na lang ang nabilin. Okay, please turn on your camera. Kaya ako po ni-send sa GC. This will serve as your attendance. Okay, naman si to be in o si memory. Okay, so please turn on your camera. So magkita na kita next week sa 205 or 206?
205.
Okay, so see you next week, class. And God bless everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.